Hi everybody, Debbie Dubois here again for another video, and I'm so excited to be back doing a video. It has been a while. I feel like I say that a lot too, but you know what it is I really wait until I'm extremely inspired and feel this absolute push and need to connect and to provide information that's been coming through. And I have that right now. I've got an incredible story to tell and a reason to tell it. But before I do that, I do want to give a big shout out to Angie and Rob and the conference that they have invited me to, along with a lot of other people that I absolutely adore, that's taking place in Banff. And that's near Calgary in the Canadian Rockies. And oh my God, I am so excited. I never even really knew much about Banff, and I didn't really know much about the area. I've seen their videos and I've seen some of the scenery and thought, oh, that's gorgeous. But I found out that there is incredible ley line energy there, and that all of the different lakes are actually chakra points, and Lake Louise is a heart chakra point. So the fact that we're all kind of being pulled there together, twin flames, sacred partners, that basically tells me that there is some real energy expansion, almost like I want to say we're going to be putting some energy into those grid points that are going to go through the ley lines and actually deliver a really good blast of white light, God, goddess energy. And so I was thrilled. I really have not been doing a lot of twin flame videos. I really have not been doing, I've been very focused on my business and my own sacred, partnership. And so these are the things that keep us in the now. But the twin community, the sacred union community is always there with me. And so the workshop is October 5th, 6th, and 7th in Banff, which I said is outside of Calgary. It's going to be held at the Banff Center, and I've seen the pictures. It's absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous. The views out the windows, and I know that Rob and Angie were showing pictures that they actually took, that are outside the place where the workshop is going to be held, where there's animals. I mean, elk or deer, or I can't remember exactly which animals, but there's animals hanging out. I mean, it's like heaven. So, and then they're offering a tour, which I'm definitely going to, and I hope you'll join us, which is the tour of the Rockies, the Canadian Rockies, and to see some of the beauty that they kind of have explored together. So I'm extremely pumped up about it. I really hope you'll consider joining us. It's funny because I'm going to be there with Dio, I'm going to be there with Marla, and I'm going to be there with another person that was with us in Chicago, Kelly. And it's going to be incredible. I'm very honored. I'm very humbled to have actually been asked to participate. And so anyways, that's just a little bit that I wanted to say right up front. The other thing that I wanted to say is that I spent some good time in the Shenandoah National Park with my good friend Marla Kelly. And wow, it was such a great experience. And again, it is just such a testament to the fact that people that are on this journey, that share with each other and support each other and interact with each other, can really bring each other along in ways that your everyday life, there's always shift and growth and change. But when you get together with someone who totally understands your circumstances, no matter how different they may be, that's what's so interesting about this path. Marla and I couldn't have had more different experiences and everything like that, but we were able to reach each other and help in little ways shift some things that were sitting there. And I know I got a couple good cries in as I realized there were still, some sensitive things that were in my way and keeping me from actually flying, which is pretty much what I'm really doing right now. I have already taken off. I wouldn't say I've reached cruising altitude yet, but I'm as close as I've ever been to materializing everything that I've ever wanted to materialize. And while I'm doing that, I'm also seeing some shifts and changes in our world that I have just prayed for and longed for my whole entire life. And it's not visible to everyone yet. It's visible to some, and it will become more and more visible. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. But anyways, there is a reason for the video that I am doing today. And that is, I had great confirmation from an experience of a fellow twin flame path, I want to say sister, who has had an experience that I've been very fortunate to be somewhat involved in and witness. Excuse me. And what's so interesting is that I already had a good sense of where these partners are on this journey, where the majority of all of us are on this journey. And I think of it like this. I think of the divine feminine is actually at a place where she is in her power and her strength and may not even be as wrapped up in or interested in or I want to say consumed by the divine masculine that's in her life or in the peripherals of her life or in the fifth dimensional realm of her life. In fact, many of the divine feminine that I know have actually stepped away and literally taken a sabbatical and said, I just don't want to go there right now. I don't need to go there. I feel really comfortable and confident in myself. But it runs the gamut. I mean, the spectrum of people who are constantly with this sacred partner in every minute of every day, all the way up to others who have little to no contact with their divine counterpart. But there's a common theme and a story that I want to tell, and I've had permission to tell it. I'm going to be very careful about how I choose because this person doesn't want her, her story revealed. And it's not Marla. So it's totally unrelated to her. So everybody don't, put anything out there. It's someone that is someone that's in my circle. You may have never even heard of her, but the story I'm going to tell, I feel has a real reason to be told right now. And that there are those of you out there who may find great, what do you want to say? Encouragement by this story. Because this was to me a demonstration of how all that I am receiving and believing is physically true and embodying in the reality around me for people who are in and out of my life, who are in my life. This was a spectacular story, so I'm just going to go right ahead and tell. All right, so I have someone that has been a client of mine for a couple of years, and about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, she met someone. She actually thought that someone else was her counterpart, but then she met someone when she was away for a week for professional reasons, and she met this person, and circumstances moved them together, and they spent a whole weekend together. And it was something that lingered with her forever. And she is married, and she has, known for a while that, she needs to be somewhere else. But so this haunted her. And we talked about it, and I saw pictures, and I'm like, whoa. It's a very similar person. And we talked a lot about what the circumstances were. And I began to feel that this could very well be like her divine counterpart. But over the year, she was constantly thinking of him, and she would reach out and text him every once in a while. And at first she got some responses, and then suddenly she didn't get any responses. And then, over the years, she would be saying to me, why am I continuing to text this man? He's obviously not interested, obviously isn't wanting to do anything about this. And so she would, let it go. She started, focusing more on her career. She did a lot of work around releasing. Well, it's funny because every year she goes on this trip work related, and she was going to be traveling back to that area, not the exact city, but she was going to be traveling back to that area. So she calls me and she says, you know what? She says, I can't do this. I can't go through this again. I can't go through how I felt and then not being able to see him and all that. And I said, well, just text him. Just reach out and say, hey, I'm going to be in town. And so she did. And a week later, she says to me, I haven't heard anything back. I'm just going to give this up. I don't. And I said, I said, something tells me that things are not exactly the way you think they are. I said, are you sure that this is his phone number and that he still has this phone and everything? And she says, of course. I mean, sure, even if you got a new phone, you keep the same phone number. She's like, I wonder if he's blocked me. So we go through this whole thing, and how do you tell if someone's blocked you? And it was beeping, busy signal, and I was like, I kind of let that secret out of the bag. I said, let me just call because I'm definitely not blocked, right? I'm definitely not blocked because he doesn't know me. So I'll just call and find out. Well, sure enough, beep, beep, busy signal. And then she decided to call and she got, dee. This is no longer a working number. She freaked out. She was like, oh my God, I wonder how long this has been the case. And I've been thinking he's not reaching back out to me, and I'm thinking all of these things. So we used it as a learning process, and it's something that I try to tell my clients is that the stories we tell ourselves and the convincing stories that we tell ourselves are so strong and so powerful that we literally experience it as if it's real. And something was just absolutely bothering me about this. And I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. So when we found out that he had, in fact, lost his phone or whatever his situation was, then the next thing was, oh my God, how am I going to get a hold of him? So it was this whole, she finally did find, she knew where he worked, and she sent him an email, and she held her breath as she sent it. And she says, oh my God, I feel like a stalker. She's just Shirley. It was very challenging for her. The fear of rejection and all that. And I'm sure everybody understands and knows that feeling. But she heard back. All right. So she heard back, and he said, oh, hey, glad to hear from you. And she's like, this is my new number. Text me. And she did. And he said, sure. Yeah, I'd like to see you. So she was on cloud nine, and she was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And of course, she was very grateful that I had not let her give up. And it was kind of like a little celebration and everything. So, we're on this track, and she calls me up a week later, and she says, he's not returning my texts. She's experiencing the not returning the text, right? So she's experiencing the stories again. And I'm like, and I didn't know, it was kind of like they had text and they wouldn't text. And then it was getting closer, and she was like, well, are you going to meet with me? Are you going to meet me? And then he wouldn't answer. And so all this stuff was going on. So she got there, and that Friday that they had actually, I don't even know what day it was. Whatever day it was, doesn't matter. She had said, I'm going to be in town. What about 8:30? And she didn't hear from him. So here she is sitting in this hotel room, and she is beside herself. She's calling me. She's upset. She's tipping the wine a little bit, right? And she's just like, oh my God, I don't really know what to do. And so we talked, and I guess it was just around 8:30, she says, oh my God, he just texted me. And I'm like, okay, good. So she looks at it. She just bursts into tears. She bursts into tears, and she's like, oh my God, he cannot see me this weekend. Now, she had kind of made plans to stay in a neighboring town to where she was going so she could actually see him. So now, of course, what she's feeling is stupidity, regret, I shouldn't do this. And he gave her the reason that he had just started a relationship with someone. He didn't feel that it was appropriate for him to meet her out. He didn't want to hurt the other person. He really, really was torn. That's why he had been vacillating between wanting to see her or not. So, all right, so this woman is devastated. All right, she's waited a whole year. She's gone through the gamut, the roller coaster that I'm sure all of you can understand. Oh my God, I'm going to see him. Oh my God, I'm not. So I kind of spent that night with her while she drank some wine and felt really, really bad. And finally, she's a really vivacious, beautiful girl, and she's about 40 years old, but you'd never know it by looking at her. She's vivacious, she's beautiful, and she says, you know what? She says, I'm going to go find someone, a boy. So I'm just going to go out and find somebody. And I'm like, oh, sheesh, no. But, it's like, so, well, what's interesting is that she did. Within a half hour, she had met a gorgeous guy, really good looking, younger, sweet, wonderful, wanted to see her. And so that whole weekend, what did she do? She actually spent it with this other person. And she said, of course, but in the back of her mind is this person, right, that she's been wanting to see, that she's thinking might be her twin or, if nothing else, her sacred partner. And so she's all confused and everything. So she decides, and meanwhile, she is just having a grand old time. I mean, morning, noon, and night. He goes off to his conference or whatever, and they're having lunch, and so she's like still living in a high experience. Well, she decides the day before she's going to leave to just reach back out and say, listen, we're both adults. Why don't we just have a cup of coffee? I don't know if I'm ever going to get a chance to see you. He's like, sure. Okay, let's do that. So then she's just like, oh my God, now I'm sitting here with this one person and now I've got him coming and I don't know how I feel about this. So all of this is going on. Well, the long and short of it is that morning he brought coffee. That morning they spent 2 amazing, wonderful, beautiful hours together. Completely as, I don't want to say as friends, but it wasn't those wham bam, oh, you're out partying, having a good time things. It was staring to each other's eyes, acknowledging the connection was there. She knew in that moment that, that she at least had a really good connection because it wasn't a stranger to her. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm not. She wondered. She was like, I'm going to see this guy and I'm not even going to know him. I don't even know him. I don't know what I would talk to him about because they had been partying when they got together and everything, both of them. So, and it's funny because she actually texted me and said, you know what? I'm really glad I saw him. It wasn't what I expected. It was very nice, very comfortable. I think he's a soulmate. I feel like things have been put to rest. And I'm so glad because we had talked about how everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to. Everything happens as it's supposed to. So she was like, hey, I think I'm going to be able to put this to rest and blah, blah, blah. Well, the integration of that experience happened for her over the next couple of days as she went off to her business function that she had that week, where she had a pretty amazing week. And as she was going through the integration process, she finally had something integrate in that I had been trying to explain to her and many other people for a long time. And that is, her initial reaction was contrast, right? Oh, I went out, I found this really gorgeous young guy, and she didn't think it was anything serious, but she was like, oh, he's beautiful, I was having a fun time, we just got along great, we were just, it was like no heartache, no stress, it was wonderful, right? Contrast. Then she had this other experience with this person that was grounded and rooted and connected, and she didn't have all of that jittery, blah, 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 your body goes crazy, and blah, 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 feeling. But she had this incredible connection, the eye-to-eye contact, the beautiful connection of knowing someone so deeply and so securely that you just knew that that person was your person, that was you, it was your person, and that it's like almost like it doesn't even matter what actually happens out of the situation. This is something that I have been trying to explain to people for the longest time. This connection is not like the 3D connections that we experience. It is nothing like that experience, okay? And those that have really come to understand that connection, and you know who you are, will be able to confirm that the connection is something that is so otherworldly that when contrasted with what it felt like to be all in love on the earth and what it feels like to be in connection with this, it couldn't be more different. It's night and day. So the issue of the overpopulation, the over hype and stimulation of the twin flame community and the twin flame experience is that it's all focused in the wrong area. It's all focused on the heat and the passion and the up and down roller coaster that gives you rushes and makes you feel alive, and it goes back to, I almost want to say, the experiences that people may have when they first fall in love. That feeling of, oh, I think about him all the time and my heart flutters, and when he comes in, my heart does the jig, and then, oh my God, I think he likes someone else, and I feel this way and I feel that way. And we have these programs in us. They're deep. They go way back. These programs fool us into thinking that feeling, that absolute feeling of giddy love, is what the twin flame or sacred partnership is about. And what I've been trying to show for a long time is that so long as that is what you're aiming for and what your ideals are, and that what makes you feel that connection is what you have, is even if that is the connection that you have, you're missing the boat. Because the boat is really about your own inner love and your own inner strength, and it being perfectly reflected outside into another individual who reflects back to you what you are reflecting out to them. And now I understand that we are always projecting onto other people, all right? But this is a mirrored projection. This is a very accurate reflection of every minute experience that you have that is so profound and so deep. And as you go into this connection, the more you appear in your authentic self, the more it is reflected in the other. And the dynamic of this is so profound that it completely blows away any ordered expectation that we've been programmed of how loving relationships should go, that there's really no comparison at all. And there is almost a grieving process that goes along with that, because in order to have the sacred union, in order to have the amazing richness, you have to let go of this other idea. Because this other idea traps you into limitation. It traps you into expectation. It traps you into this has to happen and that has to happen and it has to appear this way and this has got to be the result and this has got to be the outcome, and all of these stories that we tell ourselves. As long as you're doing that, you can't do this. You can't be over here. It's impossible. It's like trying to exist in two different states of vibration and consciousness at the same time, consciously. It's like the choice has to be made. So I wanted to share that story with you. It was probably one of the most interesting rides I've ever taken. I just didn't know I'm like, why am I here? Why am I going through this with another person? Because I was like, but it was showing me things. It was showing me. And what was really interesting is this person, after having spoken with me today, which is why I am so inspired and needed to do this video, after speaking with me today, she said, she has a lot of things coming up that she has the unraveling of her current situation and all of that happening right now. But she does have this, I know that there's the connection, and that somewhere along the line, at some point, there's a reconnection with that person. And now she has no doubts about it because, and what's so interesting is that if this person that she went to see had not done what he did and she had not done what she did, she never would have had this realization. This is the perfection of the process. It is absolute pure perfection. It is a movie that's already happened. It is a plan in place that works. And if you only let go and allow it to work and allow yourself to watch the movie with a big bowl of popcorn and a glass of wine if you want. But if you allow yourself to actually just glide along on this movie, allow each moment to unfold, you will find that every single thing that happens has to happen that way. Absolutely without chance, because if you change one or two things, it changes the whole equation. Why do you always think that they had those movies with, going back in time and you couldn't touch anything from the past and, Back to the Future when he went back in time and then all of a sudden the whole future was changed? It's because every single little tiny breath we take is all predestined. And it's all predestined by our own souls to take us to where we want to go. And so this for me was a big demonstration of trust. First of all, for me to trust, how do you think I felt? I had really encouraged her. Yeah, contact him, go, and all this. And then she was destroyed. I'm going, oh my God, what did I do? Why did I meddle? Should I have just not said anything? She assured me, no. She goes, if I look at all the synchronicities and everything she says, I wouldn't change a single thing. And especially after she talked to me today, she says, oh my God, do you realize that if one little thing had been different, I would not be sitting in the same place that I am right now? That's my message. My message to you is, number one, no matter what things appear, if this is your divine counterpart, your twin flame, your sacred partner, your whatever word you want to use for it, it is destined to be what it is, and it is what you chose. And it's what you want, because you are here to create what you prefer. You're here to learn through this period of time to create what you prefer. And you can't create what you prefer until you have really come completely into your wholeness, completely come into your own authentic being. We're going to continue to create things that we don't prefer if we've got all these programs, right? So this process helps undo all those programs, and it helps bring to you that sense of knowing within yourself actually how to create that reality that you prefer. So the beautiful outcome of all of this is a couple of things. Number one, she told me, you know what? I'm actually okay without this person. I don't have the same I need to talk to him, I need to text him, I need confirmation of how he feels, I need. There was none of that. That's where the divine feminine is right now. Almost all divine feminine that I know right now is literally at the point where they're like, absolutely, they know that this person is their divine counterpart, but they also know that if they never see them or they never talk to them or if they never get together with them, they're going to be fine. They're that strong. Now, do they think they're never going to get to be with them? No. There's just a knowledge. There's a knowledge. No matter, everything is happening at one time. Everything is happening all at once. So on some level, you are with them. On every level, at some place, at some point in time. So this was a very poignant demonstration that no matter what your circumstances are, no matter what you think your circumstances are, I would bet that if you're the divine feminine, you are probably, and you are a twin flame, a twin soul, divine counterpart, or if you're on the sacred heart path, or I always like to call it the catalytic heart awakening path, meaning you came into what do you want to say, come into your wholeness through a loving relationship, through the love template, through getting rid of the old and bringing in the new. If you're on this path, I would almost guarantee that you are at a place where you're strong inside of yourself. You may watch yourself outside of yourself, and it might seem that things aren't the way you'd like them to be from say the smaller ego perspective, but there's a higher piece of you that is watching the situation that knows perfectly well you're fine. So that's kind of where we're at. And I'm just so excited to reconnect with this energy. I have been just working on my own creation. I've been working on the manifestation of my dreams, and I basically identified the word that really sums up what my mission is, and that's a dream maker. I'm finding all kinds of ways that that people are being delivered to me who have a dream of what they're here to do. And I'm doing this from a business and marketing standpoint. But I mean, people that I'm just like in casual conversation with start telling me about this business that they owned, and they had the rights to all of this, chemistry and the recipes and all of this stuff, and they're not sure what they're going to do with it, but they did it for years and they haven't done anything with it. And then I'm thinking, we need to do something with this. And they're like, yes. So, and it's happening every day in and day out. I'm meeting people. One guy I met is like wanting to start a clothing line. I'm at the car wash, and I'm actually signing the car wash as a client, but this guy was working there and he's telling me about all these wonderful things, these dreams. We all have these dreams right now. It's time to make those dreams reality. That's the manifestation that we're in. So mission is first and foremost coming into your complete wholeness and understanding, what it is that you came here to do, without any blocks that try to tell you can't, or that you're not going to be able to make a living doing it or whatever, and actually becoming that dream manifestation, manifesting this reality that you prefer, this dream, this it's like a daydream you've had since you've been here, and it might be sitting in the recesses of your mind. So anyways, that is what I wanted to talk about today. I really hope that it helped somebody. I would love your comments. I would love your feedback. If you want to just jot a couple notes down about, hey, is this situation the same as your situation? The other thing that I wanted to announce is that I am going to do something that I have never done before, but I'm going to do it, and I'll make a post for it. I'm going to do a $23 3-card reading for people. I'll be honest, I'm doing it to raise a little bit of money for my trip to Banff. It's something I've never considered doing. Most of the time I'll do full sessions and things like that, but so much information is coming through. I'm like I feel like I'm plugged in and the energy just runs through me. And I thought, what a great way for me to, actually provide the assistance and help with the connection that I have right now, which is extremely strong, with everybody at a really minimal price, and it'll help put money towards a plane ticket, because I'm basically just sending myself up there. So I wanted to let you know, and I'm going to put a post up as soon as I have it. And if you'd like to get the 3-card reading, I'm thinking that, you can ask a question if you want it to be about something specific. If you want it to be, a confirmation of, you might want to send me, I'll figure it out. Send me like a picture of you and your twin and whatever, and a confirmation or a reading, or, any questions that you have. I will pull a couple cards to clarify that for you. I'm not sure what format I'll deliver it in. I know that one of the ways that I've done this before is to pull the cards, take a picture, and then record, because that way, instead of worrying about video cameras and stuff like that, I'm really able to tune into the energy. So I'll think more about it, but I'm going to put that out very soon. I would love to be able to read for you guys. I love tarot cards and oracle cards. I don't spend enough time doing it because I've been so busy with my business. But um, if you feel called to get a reading, check out my True Sacred Union Facebook page, as I'm pretty sure where it's going to be. And I might run an ad somewhere. It might be floating around in the groups. I don't know. But anyways, all right. Well, thanks so much for spending this time with me. And I'm really due an article. It's like the articles have been calling me. It's like I know I could write a whole book on the stuff that I'm knowing, but everything in its time. So anyways, I love you all. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And I look forward to the next time I get to spend time with you. Bye.